Hey, Viperkeeper here with a rare Wednesday appearance and a Viperkeeper Speaks. This could also be known as a rant, but I really don't necessarily feel like ranting. For those that are new subscribers, I thought I would do sort of a frequently asked questions update, just so everybody knows where I stand on a whole bunch of different things. So that's what we're going to do. First, a little bit of housekeeping. People ask me why I wasn't continuing the Ask Viperkeeper segment. Well, it's been almost a year in April when I started that. And if you have a look around on my channel, you'll see that the vast majority of them, or perhaps even the entire lot of Ask Viperkeeper segments, are gone. I removed them from the website simply because they were taking up space, and some of them, even after a year, were not terribly popular. The vast majority of them were less than 2,000 views. I consider that pretty much a fail. Obviously, the vast majority of you are just interested in just watching me evade getting bitten, and to look at the pretty snakes, and to absorb anything that I might be saying, including all the oohs and ahs that people still harass me about. Well, I removed them because, again, they're taking up space. Subsequently, people have been asking all sorts of questions on the normal places and the abnormal places. And abnormal places, putting a question on my comment page of my channel. Many times I've told people, don't place any questions on the comment page, because comment means that you have something to say and don't necessarily expect an answer. So if you put something expecting an answer, it will not be answered on the comment page, simply because there's no place to really answer it. I can then leave a comment answering your question, which is sort of ridiculous and redundant. If you want to ask me a question, you can ask me through the channel contact area, and that goes to my inbox on the channel, which is an area that I may or may not frequent. Depends on the question, and depends on how many times I've been asked the question, whether or not I will respond. Now, questions that will get a response are usually very brief and precise, and I don't have to do a lot of research, nor do I have to do a lot of typing, because I don't have a whole lot of time to sit behind the keyboard and type. I've got lots of other things going on, both with the snakes and my other parts of my life. Subsequently, short questions, questions that are not easy to find answers to on the web, will get answered. Some people will not even get answered, because I think the question is easily found, and or pretty ridiculous, or it's poor English and poor typing. If I'm typing out a question and an answer, or something to somebody, and I can't spell a word, I'll plug the word into my word processor and get the correct spelling, and then just plug it back into the sentence. And I use spell check. I am not the world's best speller, but I make a serious effort at it, and I suggest that everybody does that also. I've also gotten questions from people, why do I treat people like they're stupid? Well, to be honest with you, the vast majority of the people out there that I've run into, both on and off of my channel, are pretty dumb. Now, that's no reason that you can't improve yourself, but considering what I see and what people write me, I have the reasonable belief that the vast majority of people on YouTube are pretty dumb. I set as an example some of the videos that are stupid in nature, but of course they're viral and have the most hits. I have to say no more. Case closed. So that's pretty much on that particular topic. Yes, I've been bitten. I've only been to the hospital and required antivenom once. I've been to the hospital a couple of additional times, but the bite turned out to be dry. So yes, I've been bitten. Yes, every time I've been bitten, I've done something stupid. At no time is it the animal's fault. The animal is just behaving like it was programmed to do more than 50 to 60 million years ago. Subsequently, I am the dummy and not the animal. Okay? The bite that required antivenom was in 1974 when I was a young lad. 17, I believe. And of course, like most young males, I had more testosterone than brains. Therefore, I was invincible and didn't listen to people who were counseling me on the proper handling techniques. And I was handling an animal for no reason, a timber rattlesnake, and it slipped a pin and it bit me in the index finger. That required several days in the hospital and 6 vials of Wyeth anti-serum. Back then, they were only $50 a vial. Now you can't even get them. You know, that's just the way prices have been. Another frequently asked question is, how come I don't keep rattlesnakes? Well, I don't have an awful lot of space for animals, and I've always preferred the exotic snakes over the domestic rattlesnakes, especially when I became enabled to acquire them and handle them properly and avoid getting bit. But the main reason is, with the advent of crowfab, who wants to spend $1,000 a vial treating a bite that'll require typically 20 vials or more, when, you know, I can keep something like my friends here, the Mambas, and if necessary, if I get bit, you know, typically 5 vials of South African polyvalent will take care of the bite at a whole $185 a vial. Foreign antivenom is a lot less expensive than this terrible stuff called crowfab, which hopefully will be supplanted in the not too distant future by BioClone, but during the process of becoming FDA approved, the BioClone price has skyrocketed from about $50 a vial when I used to go across into Mexico and get it myself, from $50 or $60 a vial to, you know, about $500 a vial. That's progress, right? You get involved with the government and the bureaucracy, and immediately it costs a lot of money. So that's the principal reason why I don't keep native venomous, is because a mistake is far more costly. Some of the antivenoms are not terribly expensive, and they actually work really well as opposed to the crowfab. So that's why I don't keep domestic rattlesnakes. A lot of people ask me, do you have this or do you have that? Well, I might not currently have it because my collection is a vastly changing dynamic thing. I have certain animals which I always have because they're my favorites, and then I have other animals that are sort of transient, that move from place to place. I've got animals out on loan all over the place. Apparently I'm boring the Egyptian Culver because it just yawned at me. So I'll try to make this all brief. So, generally speaking, it ranges between 150 and 200 animals under the roof at one given time. Sometimes I get a little bit bored with things and I sort of flush the system out, and it'll drop to, below 150, but generally above 100. So that's typically, what I have. And if you want to know if I have a video, well, golly, you don't have to ask me. It's something called a search engine. You type into the search engine for YouTube, which is, part of Google, and you put in, for instance, cottonmouth, and you'll come up with all sorts of videos on cottonmouths. Imagine that. Holy cow. And people wonder why I think the vast majority of them are dumb. Because if you can't figure out how to use a search engine, that's pretty dumb, and you're not really using your brain other than a hat rack. So that's that particular story. And yes, I mince no words. I call things as I see them. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's the fact. And one major reason why we're in the trouble we are today is because everybody is so thin-skinned. Well, put on your big boy or big girl knickers and get over it. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. I can't think of anything that I really want to add, but that's more or less the general frequently asked questions and such. I've given you an idea how to get a response from me, and how not to get a response from me if you have a particular question. Use search engines, buy books and read them instead of hanging out in front of the TV or the computer, or actually do some research and do something other than playing silly games on Facebook or whatever. And yes, you can follow me on Twitter. I occasionally tweet, not terribly often. Generally, when I only have something to say, I don't like to waste words. I am only allowed a certain amount in a particular given time, so I don't waste them. I'm on Facebook. If you want to be my friend, I'll consider it. It doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be added as a friend. Just like on YouTube, you may or may not be added as a friend. Usually the people that I add as friends, usually I will add them if they've been a bit proactive and answer questions that I may not particularly want to answer, or someone is being not terribly nice and they'll come to my defense. That's the sort of characteristics I usually find in a friend. Not some random person I have no clue about, but pushes the be my friend button. Sorry, I don't work that way. I'm a bit old school. You have to sort of earn it, because if you earn it, I have to be able to trust you to a certain extent, because it allows you to have comments added to the YouTube channel without my intervention. All the comments that come in, with the exception of my friends, don't appear right away. That's simply because I don't allow them, because I get to filter out the haters, and everybody knows there's lots of them out there, and I'm sure there'll be lots of haters responding to my videos right now. But again, you're entitled to your opinion, and so am I. So I'm exercising this right while I still have it. So that's pretty much it. Little course correction and update. Spring's coming and there should be a flow of animals to and fro. I'm working on a few things, but you never can tell if things are going to work out until, they're sort of on the plane and on the way here. So, we'll see. I'm pretty happy with all the critters I got. I don't necessarily need to go swapping them around and stuff, but you never can tell. Something may come across my desk that seems interesting to have, and I'll get it just to see what it's like and what its temperament is, and whether I like it or not. You never can tell. At any rate, that's my latest FAQ. Please, if you're going to be ridiculous, don't write. If you do write, make it a good question, and I'll perhaps answer it. Not that I really don't want to answer it, it's just that I do have limited amount of time, so I have to pick and choose the question very carefully, because sometimes mailbox gets overflowing, and in some instances I feel a bit overwhelmed by it. So that's pretty much it. I have to water these characters tonight. Most everybody got fed last night, and then I might actually have a few minutes to myself. I actually treated myself yesterday afternoon and watched a few Discovery Channel shows on dinosaurs, so that was sort of fun. But I don't get that chance too often because there's always something going on. Take care. See ya.